Welcome once again to Smart Agro Innovation. Today we are going to talk about how to grow onions just at the backyard. This is a backyard. We are going to use these car ties to produce our own onions at home. The process and the procedures involved is as follows. First of all, you need to get your knife. You have your car tie, then your substrate. This is sawdust, and then this is garden soil, so that we don't use any synthetic fertilizer nor any chemical. You are just producing it organically. So this is simply a sawdust, and this is garden soil. We have our onions, and we are good to go. Now this is the process. After getting your onion, the first step is to remove the cover. This is onion, so you just remove it. Remove it nicely. Then you cut it nicely like this. Then after that, it's good to go. These are just ordinary onions from the market. So, good to go. These are the eyes. It's good to cut the tip so that it gets the eyes exposed for faster germination. Also, we have our onions now ready. You wash it nicely before so we have it washed. Now we have finished washing the whole thing. These are our substrate. Because we want to produce our own onions organically, we have our sawdust being our compost. This is a mixture of sawdust and the decomposed biodegradable materials from the kitchen. And this is garden soil. This is also garden soil. We are going to mix it together, and after mixing it, then we put them in a car tie, the waste car tie, and water it and leave it for some time, and we see how it will go. Now this is it. This is the garden soil. It's about 50% garden soil and then 50% compost. So we just mix it here. We have our garden soil and we have our sawdust, our compost. So we're going to mix it thoroughly. Fill this one too. So sawdust. It's time for sowing. So we are going to plant all these. We're going to sow them in our car ties. The substrate or the growth media is sawdust, a decomposed sawdust, that is a compost, plus normal garden soil. So after mixing them at a ratio of 50:50, you see that you get a very good mixture for the growth. Therefore, these are our onions that we bought from the market. This is how the planting is done. So you can separate it. So you insert it like this. So this is where the leaves will appear. Have it. Let's do this one too. So, after putting them there, you need to cover them. Cover it nicely. Make sure that everywhere is being covered. Now after covering, then you add the sawdust again, the substrate, to cover the whole thing very well, and then to facilitate germination. So you have our sawdust again, using it to cover the whole thing. This will help enhance faster germination. Still covering. Now we have it done. You've been able to cover everything. Now, after covering, what we need to do is to water it, to add water, because if you look at the factors that promote germination, water has a key role to play. Therefore, water it nicely. Because it's sawdust, you need to add adequate amount of water so that it can germinate faster. Now, we are done with the watering. We are going to leave this to stand for some time. We shall come back and watch the result. So this is episode 1 of episode 2. Episode 1 of 2. That is what we have. So we are going to watch the progress. Because onions don't like too much water, we are not going to water every day. We are going to do the watering in 3 days interval, depending on the prevailing environmental condition. So this is how to produce onions at the backyard using cutter.